Every child has 3 reading levels. In the Struggling Reader Assessment for Comprehension, we give you, the parent, the ability to assess your child and determine what their reading levels are. Let me tell you a little bit about the reading levels that you will determine. There is an independent reading level that you will find out. That independent reading level is the level your child can read out without you. They can go to the other room and open the book and read it. The sentence structure is not too difficult. The vocabulary is not too hard. They're able to read the book. That is their independent reading level. Many times we'll give books to our children. We have no idea what they're in the 4th grade. Here's a 4th grade book. That is not their independent reading level. They open it up. They can't read it. They know they can't read it. And so we build discouragement instead of hope and encouraging them to read. So we'll tell you exactly what your child's independent reading level is with this assessment. It'll also give you their instructional reading level. Their instructional reading level is maybe just outside of what they're able to grasp on their own, but you're able to teach them at. You can explain things to them. They understand enough in context to get meaning. That would be their instructional reading level. And then there's the frustration reading level. That's when you sound like Charlie Brown's teacher. Raw, 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 raw. The vocabulary is way too hard. The sentence structure is way too difficult. You're explaining way too much. It's too challenging. They're not interested. That's the level that we want to stay away from. It's very important to know these reading levels. Again, we don't go to our 4th grader and teach them at a 4th grade reading level if really ultimately they're at a 2nd grade reading level. The way reading works is I need to go where they're at, work on their areas of weakness, and bring them up to the level of expectation, not just trying to act like we can pull them up by giving them material at a level they're not ready for. Now let me tell you something about one of our favorite products, one of my favorite. It is the Comprehension Instructional Activity Book. Well, what is comprehension ultimately? Comprehension is not just the ability to read a story and answer questions. Comprehension is what is the author giving me that I need to understand this piece of material. And that's no different than reading a map or a recipe or fiction or nonfiction. What is it that I need here to understand what is being given to me in written print? In our instructional activity book, you will find many activities that you can use no matter if you're doing science or history or fiction or nonfiction or read aloud. You can do these different activities, and ultimately what they are study strategies. What is it in this piece of literature or map or nonfiction that I need to understand? We do things from picture walks to DRTAs. Now, what is a DRTA? Let me just give you an example of one of the activities that you'll find in this book. You can look this up on the internet. A DRTA is a directed reading and thinking activity. So we'll just zoom in on this later. Okay, I will just give you an example of what we would do with a DRTA. I want you to look at the cover of this book. What does the title tell you about the cover of this? What does the title tell you about this story? Anybody? Just the title.
It's about an owl and a moon.
It's about an owl and a moon. Does that give you any other information? What does that make you think about?
It makes me think about the owl flying.
It makes you think about the owl flying. Does it make anyone think of anything else?
It makes me think of night.
Why does it make you think of night?
Because the moon is out at night.
Because the moon is out at night. Anyone else? Does anything else about the title make you think of night?
The owls are usually only out at night.
The owls are typically out at night as well. So the title tells us a lot about what we think we're going to read. Just the title. Okay? Who are the people? Who are the people that we see on this? Any guesses? Yes.
A kid and a grown-up.
A kid and a grown-up. What makes you say that?
Because one of them's small, one of them's big.
One of them is small and one of them is big. Any other guesses? Who are the people?
I would think a father and a son, because it just looks like a bigger person.
A father and like a bigger build?
Yes.
A bigger build. So a father, why a son?
I don't know. I just think that see them walking through the snow together.
Okay.
I'm going with a daughter.
You're going with a daughter. Okay, it could be a son, could be a daughter, could be a child, could be a very short adult. Okay, what is on the ground? Yes.
Snow.
What makes you say that?
It's white. And there are no leaves on the trees.
So what do no leaves on the trees have to do with snow?
It's probably winter.
It's probably winter. Why?
The way that they're dressed.
The way they're dressed? Oh, the way they're dressed. Why? How are they dressed?
Very warm. With a scarf and hats.
With scarves and hats. Are they in the city or in the country?
They are in the country.
What makes you say that?
There's no buildings.
No buildings? Does anything else tell you that this is the country?
No other lights except for the moon.
There's no other lights but the moon. What I have just done is a DRTA. Now, I have directed my child's thinking to what's about to happen in this story. I might not have all those questions answered when I read the story, but I'm going to be listening with a purpose now. I want to know, who are those people? And I want to know, what is an owl moon? I'm very interested in the story. Instead of just picking up the book and reading it to them, I've given them now an activity that they will be processing the information as it comes to them as they read. It's a before reading activity that they will incorporate into a during reading activity so that they can enhance their comprehension. I can use that DRTA with nonfiction. If I'm going to read about whales, I might ask them, why do they have blowholes? Where do they live? How do they give birth? So I'm going to direct their thinking so that when they read, they're looking for those answers. Again, they might not find them, but they're going to pick up a lot more information because they're reading with a purpose now. That is a DRTA. That is one example of the activities that we have in our activity book. The activity book is meant to be used across the content area. Mom, you'll pick that up. You'll say, you know what, we're going to do this activity in science today.